Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 14 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Just getting started here, I crafted myself an anvil. I'm going to go ahead and toss my Soul Stealer sword in there, and if I throw a couple corrupted ingots in, we can see we can actually repair this vile sword. So just use your corrupted ingots to get it all repaired up. Awesome. So I do want to keep a hold on this Soul Stealer and Sharpness enchant. Nice. The main reason I'm doing that is because I want to try and go get myself some more blaze rods, because I need a couple more to get started on what I want to do this episode. One of the first things I definitely want to work on is down here. I want to actually swap out this normal chest with an ender chest that will be able to automatically transfer the liquids from one world to the next. So I think that's going to be a huge help with my lava generation of power. You can see my MFE is nicely filled up with all the lava that I pumped into the geothermal generators last night before I wrapped up episode 13. So now it's time to get into the Nether. So I'm going to do a lot of this off camera. You saw a lot of me running around the Nether earlier. And then once I've got what I need, I'll be back to start messing around some more. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright guys, spent a little time here. You can see I even got myself a bow to shoot these guys that are getting in my way. And I've got 828 blaze souls. And if I add in correctly, 200 more than that is 1028, which should give me a tier 5 blaze spawner. So, let's add 200 to it by doing this. Nice. Look at that, he's maxed out. Tier 5 blaze spawner. Let's get the heck out of this Nether now. I'm going to head back to my base, and now I have a blaze spawning crystal. Awesome. I'm really excited about that. It is tier 5, which means it can both exist in the overworld because it's tier 4 or greater, and it can also respond to redstone signals. So I can turn on and off my blaze spawner using a redstone signal. How cool is that? Alright, I will, like I said, be back in just a moment once I've gotten all the stuff I need and head back to my base. Alright, for now I've got my soul shard in there, my tier 5 blaze. I'll use that in a little bit. But I'm currently going to clean up my inventory a little bit. You can see I just collected all the junk that I had with me from earlier. Yeah, I had stored all this stuff in a chest and stuff. But for now I've got enough blaze rods to really get cooking with my first ender chest, which is pretty much what I'm going to do right now. So I'll be back in a moment once I clean up this inventory. Alright guys, time to check out ender chests. Now, the Ender Chest mod has actually been around longer than vanilla Ender Chests, and it's an awesome little tool. I need a bunch of things, and I forgot one. A couple of Ender Pearls. I'm actually making 2 Ender Chests at the moment, and I'm going to show you guys how they work. It's really pretty straightforward, but they're way cooler, in my opinion, than vanilla Ender Chests. Alright, so basically what happens is your Ender Chests have 3 little dots on the top, and that indicates the color code, and any 2 chests with the same color coding on top are linked to one another. So you can see here these are both white, white, white. And when I open it up, both chests open. And if I place an item in one chest, it's also available in the other chest. And if I take it out of that chest, it's also taken out of the other chest. Cool? But if they have different color codes, for example, white, white, red, they are no longer linked. Check that out. See? No longer linked to each other. Okay, so that is the deal with ender chests. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make these guys white, red, red, I think. That sounds like a good plan, right? Because they are, after all, getting lava. I kind of wanted to do red, red, red because they were going to be lava. So let's go ahead and get a flower here to get myself a little bit more red dye. Love the minium stone. Alright, red, 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 because after all, they're collecting lava for us. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is actually wind up placing one of these in the Nether and one of these in the overworld. But before I can really do that, I think I'm going to have to come over this way and check out what's in my project table here, because I need to make a piston. Oh, need more wood. There we go. And with that piston, I need a red doped wafer, I need some gold, and I need some cobble. There we go. Filter. Filter is going to be used, and it's going to be an important part of this build. Now, I'm also going to need a timer. So let's see what we got in way of timers right here. I might wind up needing 2 of these. We'll figure it out in just a moment, don't worry. But the timer is another important build. We got a stone anodes, some wires, wafer, pointer. Okay, we should be able to pull this off, right? Oh, wait, you know what? I need some pointers. That'll have to do for now. Okay, so pointers, you guys, these guys, right? Oh, I need some cathodes too. Alright, I can manage that. Just borrow a little bit of redstone. Oh, we got a lot of sticks in here. That'll work. Now the timer is going to be used to activate my filter, and I'll show you what that's all about right now. Once I get these guys put down. Cool. So timers are cool little devices. When you place them on the ground, they will run and activate a redstone pulse every so often. And you can adjust the timer interval in the interface. So I can bump it up to be every 12 seconds, and it'll turn a lot slower. I could bump it down to be like 0.2 seconds, and it'll go crazy. I don't recommend setting your timers too quick, because, you know, too many timers in the world running too quickly. There's a lot of updating going on there. It can kind of cause a little bit of lag if you have way too many of them. So I would avoid having too many timers running too quickly. But I'm not going to worry too much about it. So that's going to activate our filter. And what the filter does is pretty cool. I think I'm going to need a second one though. So let me get one more of these guys. Just steal a piece of that, a little bit of this. Cool. So the filter is ready to roll. So let's go downstairs into our basement and set up the initial project here. So all I gotta do is break this guy. Cool. That should be good. I'm debating how this is gonna work out for me. I think I'm gonna need a different type of pipe right here. That shouldn't be a problem though. I'll show you guys what I'm gonna make. So I'm gonna kind of combine Buildcraft and Red Power 2 stuff here. But let's see, what do I have? Probably also going to need a little bit of this. That should be cool. Just might need a little bit of the pneumatic tubing. And I need some sandstone, I believe. Cool. Sandstone, and I need some more glass. Do I have any of that? I should. I was cooking up some earlier. Sandstone can make sandstone transport pipes, and these are actually really nice pipes. If you don't want a pipe connecting to an adjacent inventory, like in this case, this is going to be ideal. Let me show you what the deal is here. Alright, first I'm going to set up my filter, just like so. But if we look down here, we'll note that this pipe is actually connecting to the filter. It has an inventory, so any items flowing through here might wind up making its way into the pipe, which would not be cool. So I'm going to break that guy and replace him with a sandstone transport pipe. Sandstone pipes will only connect to other pipes, not to adjacent inventories. Beautiful. So that solves that problem. Now the filter is a nice little device, as it can be told exactly what items to pull out of an adjacent inventory and place into another one. So what I'm going to tell this filter to do is only pull out lava cans. And it'll only pull out one at a time right now, the way it's set up, which is fine. We don't need to pull out more than that, I don't think. So let's go ahead and set down our timer. And I'm just going to set the timer behind this thing. Real easy. Yoink. There we go. And every 2 seconds by default, the timer is going to go ahead and pulse and pull a lava can out of the nearest inventory. Cool. Now underneath, we're emitting from the liquid transposer. Remember, we have it set up to empty out the cans out the bottom, and they're going to filter their way back into this chest. Cool. And the intelligent thing here is that the filter will only pull out full lava cans, not empty ones. And that's going to be important because we're about to swap this chest with the ender chest. So let's get that going pretty much right now. I think I can turn this guy off. I'm going to do that with a redstone signal. So let's just turn him off for a moment so he stops running. Cool. So redstone signal will disable the timer. Awesome. Cool. I think we're ready to go here. Just wait for the last few empty cans to filter through. The best thing about these ender chests is that they can work cross-dimensionally. So it will have no problem transferring the items from the Nether to the overworld. Cool. Ender chest in place. So go ahead and pop these guys in here again, turn this thing on, and you can see all the lava is quickly being sent over to my geothermal generators. They're intelligent enough to not run when they don't need to send power anywhere. So my MFE up there is full, so all my generators are off by default. Pretty cool. Alright, so we've got our empty cans going through there. Now, let's go into the Nether and get this piece set up so that the lava automatically comes from the Nether into the overworld. Off we go. And you can see I brought another filter with me because we're going to pretty much... Why are there bats in my house all the time when I come in here? We're going to pretty much set it up the same way, just kind of in reverse. So what we want to do here is the following. We've got... Let's do this. Just breaking everything. Okay. I'm going to put this guy here with the filter here. And we're going to say that this side can be your input. Okay, so we'll input things here. And the filter, I didn't bring my empty cans with me, did I? Okay, that was stupid. But that's all right, not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and put out the top here with the sandstone pipes to this guy. And I could do this underground if I wanted to, but meh. Oh, look, there we go. Right, ender chest. Ha, right, perfect. So just steal one can here. Put that in the filter. Now, the filter is only going to pull out empty cans. How cool is that? The liquid transposer, we're going to have to supply him power. I might not want to use magmatic engines in here because they tend to overheat. They're not going to be creating as much power, so I need to figure out a better power source for here in the Nether. I will figure that out at some point, but for now, we'll see. So this guy's running. All I got to do is get my timer set up, and we should be in good shape. And I'm going to tell this guy actually to not respond to a redstone signal because I'm going to wind up putting a timer next to him. So we don't want the timer pulsing and messing with the engine, right? So now we're pulling out one can at a time. How cool is that, huh? Now, I could put more cans in there, and it would pull more cans out at a time. I might even wind up doing that, just because of how cheap they are, but we'll see. So you can see the liquid transposer doing its job here, and I'm going to tell it to output to the top. Cool. So now items will go out the top. There they go. Awesome. And they'll land in the ender chest here. Now on the other side of the world, back in the overworld, it should start pulling out my cans, but I'm going to wager that it doesn't. Why could that be? Well, this is where I have to explain to you guys how chunk loading mechanics work. I've explained, mentioned them briefly. Those who've seen my previous seasons probably know pretty well by now how chunk loaders work, but those of you new to mods might not really understand chunk loading. And the reason for that is most vanilla mechanics don't really do anything when there's no player nearby. So nothing actually runs. Minecraft, in order to save memory and processing and all that, actually unloads parts of the world and doesn't keep it running while there's no player nearby. And it's pretty much like a decent size around the player. Ooh, good stuff. But the downside, of course, being that if you're using mods that like to automate things and run all the time, you're going to run into a bit of a problem if you're not near the machine. So we can see here that our lava cans are not actually getting emptied on the other side of the overworld. So let's head in there and see what we can do to resolve this. I'll meet you guys in the overworld. So to get started with the next item I want to make, I'm going to need some books. I'm also going to need some diamonds and some obsidian. This gets me, as you know, an enchantment table. Cool. The enchantment table can actually be upgraded to a chunk loader thanks to the chicken chunks mod. Now there's actually quite a few things in Minecraft anymore that can load chunks for you. Chicken chunks is definitely one of the cooler ones, in my opinion. They're awesome. Your other options are from Railcraft, you can make a world anchor. These guys are also pretty neat. You can see they also cost some obsidian, some gold, some diamonds, some ender pearls. They're expensive little devices. You've also got the Anchor Sentinel from Railcraft, which can load more chunks in a line, and you've got the Anchor Cart, which is a mine cart that can load the chunks for you. You can also combine your world anchor with computer craft turtles to go ahead and get yourself a chunk loader module. Pretty cool. So there's a lot of things in Minecraft modding that can load chunks for you. So a chunk is a 16 by 16 block area, and I'm actually going to step outside to demonstrate to you guys how a chunk loader works. So this whole area around me, if I leave this area, it's going to unload. Plants won't grow, machines won't run, nothing's going to happen. It's like I'm not even logged into the game. But if I place a chunk loader down, oh, nifty, and we open up the interface here, you can see it's got a chunk loading radius of 2, which loads 9 chunks around the player, and Direwolf20 is the guy who owns it. So this guy's going to load 9 chunks in total, 3 by 3 grid. And if I hit the show lasers button, it's actually going to create a nice little laser display to let me know what area is being loaded. How cool is that? So this entire area, represented within the red lasers, is going to be loaded at all times for me. So you can see it kind of running along here, showing me that this area will be kept loaded. And I can bump this up and lower it if I want. It's pretty easy. I can change it from a square to a circle, so now it's only loading 5 chunks around this block, but I'm going to keep it in square mode, or a straight line on the X and Z and Y coordinates. Not a problem. And it will always load from top to bottom of the world. So chunk loaders will keep, all the way up and down. You don't have to worry about, keeping it at a lower level. It'll load all the way up to the top world max height, all the way to the bottom. We can shrink down to only load 1 chunk, and that's this area right here. So right now we're standing within the chunk that's being loaded. The green laser represents the center of that chunk, by the way. So this is the center of the chunk that's being loaded by this chunk loader. Cool. It's loading, like I said, 16 by 16 blocks, and we can bump it up more if we want. And you can see it's now loading up a much larger area. Okay, so what I want to actually do is break this guy, see you later chunk loader, and go place him somewhere else. I think right in the wall there for now is pretty good. Let's show the lasers. Alright, cool. I want to just check it out from the outside and see how much of my base here is being loaded. Is it loading the entire base, or is there more to check out? It looks like it's starting to get dark out, so I want to be quick out here, otherwise we're going to be in some trouble. I definitely think it's covering my entire area, right? Yeah. That's enough for now. I just want to keep my main base loaded. I'm not going to worry about the farms over there, though I probably could. Thaumcraft room, don't have to worry about keeping that loaded up. I might want to expand this range at some point. Like I said, it's easy to do within the interface there. So all the machines now in my house will continue to run when I'm not here, which is cool. Let's turn the lasers off so we don't have to see them. And there we go. Cool. Now what's going to happen is if I head into the Nether, what we should see happening is as soon as those lava cans fill up, they're going to automatically be emptied by my world in the overworld. See, there's always bats in my house. What's going on here? Alright, yeah, they'll always be opened up. So you can see here's some lava cans already starting to move again, because there's no chunk loader in the Nether yet. But when we watch the ender chest here, we should start to see the lava cans disappear. That's because, like I said, the machines in my house in the overworld are now running. And this thing can run in a nice infinite loop. It'll keep going, the overworld's going to keep pulling the lava cans out, and the Nether here is going to keep refilling them. As long as I stand in the Nether, that is, until I place a chunk loader here. So why don't I go get myself another chunk loader, and I'll be back. And through some quick editing, I collect the resources I needed to get myself another chunk loader. Awesome. So let's go ahead and bring this guy into the Nether, because as you guys would probably imagine, the Nether is not running at the moment, so the lava is not making its way into my base. But it will now. Look at all these guys. I also would like to keep my nether wart farm chunk loaded, just because. More bats. Oh, and they explode too. Awesome. Chunk loader engaged. So show me a square area of where this is being loaded up. Is it loading out there? It is not. So I need to bump the range up a little bit, I think. Probably. Yeah, you know what? This guy's chunk loading, that's the center of that chunk. So let's move this back a little bit. To like here maybe. Show those lasers now. Alright, so we're keeping this area well loaded up. And are we keeping my main house loaded? Ooh, still not quite. Might need to bump the range up a little bit more. I could if I wanted to, because I'm running along the Z-axis here. So if I wanted, Z-axis 5 chunks. And And that probably will only keep a certain number loaded. Let's see. Yeah, see, look at that. It's keeping this entire area loaded here. That works for me. Cool. Those lasers are awesome, by the way. So everything within the laser area is being kept loaded, which includes my my lava farm and my nether wart farm, which is perfect. I'm quite pleased with that. So now my nether wart will grow when I'm not in the nether, and my lava pumps will also continue to run. The only thing I got to do is consider a better power source here, because this guy will most definitely overheat, and then I have to come in and hit him with a wrench. So I need to think of something a little bit more automatic. Alright guys, making one more tweak. Like I said, I didn't want my timer here interfering with my engine, so I'm actually going to do that. And that should prevent the engine from activating when the redstone timer pulses. Now the only thing I don't have yet is a way to automatically turn on and off this engine when it's needed. Right now, I can either leave it on full time and it'll overheat, or I can leave it off and have to come in here manually to turn it on. Neither of which I like. So I'm going to have to work on a solution here that can help automate this engine. And there's a couple options that I have. And don't worry, they'll be all pretty awesome. But I'm going to have to work on that in a different episode, because there's a few things I need that I don't have just yet. So for now, I'm going to leave this setup the way it is. I'm actually going to throw a few more empty cans in here and let them start running, and just make sure the cans are going and doing their thing. So I will be back in just a few moments once everything's kind of done here. So there we go. We've got a nice full tank here. We can actually see the filter is jammed right now because we've got a stack of lava cans. There's no more that can fit in there. So the excess lava cans, remember I brought a few extra cans into the nether with me, are just kind of waiting. And the timer's going to keep running. No big deal. Awesome. So I think we're in pretty good shape with this automated power system. It should be pretty self-sufficient at this point, except for having to turn the engine on and off in the nether. So we've got plenty of industrial craft power, we've got plenty of other good stuff. Now what I want to work on is making a new tool. First off, I'm going to need a compressor, so let's get one of those guys. Compressors are pretty easy to make, just need a machine block, an electronic circuit. I can get this stuff put together pretty quickly. How am I for refined iron? I'm good. So let's get an electronic circuit and a machine block. Cool. And then we just need some smooth stone, which I guess I don't have any of on me, but I do now. Okay. Compressors are used for making all kinds of cool industrial craft gadgets. What did I do wrong here? There we go. Compressor. Nice. I'm going to need a few of these guys. Well, not a few of them, but I need to get one at least. So we'll hook up our power here, get our compressor charged up. Boom. Ready to roll. I need to get myself just a few items. Let me check out what I need to do. So what I need to make requires the following items. I need to get some tin, some refined iron, and some bronze together to make a mixed metal ingot. These guys are used with your compressor. You have to compress them down into advanced alloys. And the advanced alloys can be used for all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm going to let that compressor run, and I'll come back in a moment once it's finished. I'm also, as you can see, cooking up a few more refined iron. It's going to automatically land in my ingots chest right here. Beautiful. Next steps will be to get just a little bit of redstone, a couple glowstone, and a couple lapis. Cool. I'm also going to need to put the following together. Let's get another one of those electronic circuits. And I'm going to upgrade this electronic circuit using the glowstone and lapis to get an advanced circuit. Advanced circuits are used for all kinds of advanced machines and tools, and I'm going to be using them pretty soon. I'm also going to need, I think, at least one of these energy crystals. So let's put that together here. I might need two. I forget exactly what I need to get. Alright, so when my compressors are done, I'll be back. Alright, looks like my compressor's done. And I did need 2 energy crystals. They go up here. And I've got my advanced circuit, and that gets me the mining laser. Awesome. Another gadget from Industrial Craft. It does need a bit of power to run. So I'm going to charge that up. And it needs to be charged in at least an MFE. You can't charge this guy up in a bat box. So he's going to take a few minutes to charge. And while that's happening, I think I'd like to upgrade the backpack that I have on my back here, because this small amount of EU is really not going to be able to carry me through using the awesomeness of the mining laser. So I'm going to make a lap pack. Just take my existing backpack, backpack, and another advanced circuit and some lappies blocks. So that should be pretty easy to make. Let's get that going right now. Another one of these guys. You can hear lots of guys dying outside. Nice. And 2 of you and 2 of you. Cool. Gets me the advanced circuit that I need. And then a bunch of lappies, because I need to get some blocks of this stuff. That gets me 4, 5, 6. Nope, I was close. There we go. Cool. So take my existing backpack. Now the nice thing about these backpacks is they do retain their charge when you upgrade them, so you don't have to worry about losing the amount of energy that you have stored in there. Cool. See, look at that. 49,200 EU charged. And this guy can store 300,000. So 5 times as much as your regular backpack, which is awesome. So he'll be very useful for my future mining endeavors. And you can see all the power is getting dumped into my lap pack. And because we've got power running in our machine, our geothermal generators are on. And they're generating electricity. And because that's happening, we actually have our liquid transposer running because the lava is coming out of the tank here. It's being converted into energy. Liquid transposer is dumping the lava out of its internal buffer, and it's also emptying the lava cans. Cool. Everything's working exactly the way it should, which I love. Love it when things work out. Cool, cool, cool. So lots of automation going on already to get us some power and some other cool stuff. Beautiful. So I think I'm ready to go mining again. Nice. I'll wait for this lap pack to fill up, and I'll be back after I clean up my inventory. So here I am, deep underground in my mining cave area, around Y level 7, and I've got my mining laser. Now if you hold the M key and right-click your mining laser, you'll change the different modes that are available. You can see there's a bunch of cool ones. Different modes require different amounts of power. So the simple mining mode will just, in whatever direction you shoot a laser. So boom, it'll go up in a nice diagonal there, and shoot this nifty little mining laser that can be used to clear out a bunch of terrain. Cool, not bad at all. That's not bad. We've also got the low focus mode. This guy is nice low focus, so you can see it's going right there. They do make noise if you have sounds turned on. I'm pretty sure I have Industrial Craft sounds disabled at the moment. So you can see the short range mode is just a little bit shorter range, uses a lot less power, and is really nice if you want to just like mine real fast. Not bad at all. But that's not my favorite mode. I have an even more liked mode. Ooh, got some iron here. Cool. So you can cook that stuff up nice and quick, tearing it up, not bad. Next up, we've got the long range mode. This guy, as you might expect, has a long range. He can shoot really far. So it's the same as the mining mode, just longer range. Horizontal is the one I like to use. That will always fire along a horizontal path. So it'll keep things nice and straight for you. So you can see I'm shooting along here, and ooh, diamonds. Nice. So that's what horizontal mode is like. And let me get these diamonds. Awesome. What? Only 2? Fail. Alright, also, we've got superheat mode. That will, when it hits blocks, superheat them, so you can see that block there actually dropped smooth stone instead of cobblestone. Does the same for sand to glass. We've got scatter mode, which makes a giant mess and just shoots lasers in a big scattered direction. I guess I'll kind of, I don't know. Scattered mode really makes a mess. Let me shoot it down like this. Yoink. Ha! See? Mess. But, you know, does what it's supposed to do. It makes a big scatter shot that kills a bunch of blocks. That mode uses quite a lot of power, by the way, so, you know, watch out for that. And then, of course, there is the last mode here, explosive. Kaboom. Also quite a bit of power, but also quite a lot of fun. Not bad. But like I said, I usually like to use horizontal mode. It's definitely my favorite mode for, you know, digging through straight tunnels and whatnot. Alright, I'll be back in just a moment. And with that, guys, I think we've pretty much hit the wrapping up point for this episode. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up right here. I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time mining with my nifty new mining laser. As I said, it's definitely one of my favorite tools. It really makes mining in these nifty little tunnels pretty easy. I've got my lap pack, which is, you know, sending its energy down to the laser. You can see we've already used about 50,000 EU just during those demonstrations. So trust me when I say that the different modes are definitely more expensive if you're not careful. Cool. Look how quickly I can get through these tunnels. So much better. Definitely nice for mining. Just, you know, watch out for lava if you're mining as deep as I am, because that stuff hurts. Nice. So this is Direwolf20 signing off on episode 14. Hope you enjoyed checking it out. Oh, see? Lava. Like I said, be careful. Yeah, I know there was a little redstone there. Cool. Yeah, definitely hope you enjoyed checking out the Nether, getting the automated power system going on. Next episode, not quite sure what I'll get into just yet, but there's going to be plenty more to get to. I want to figure out a way to automate that turning on and off of my pump down in the Nether. We'll get to that for sure. I've got some more Thaumcraft goodies. I'm in the middle of doing a piece of research. I'm waiting for a few more supplies before I can finish that up. But like I said, I usually don't like to show the research recipes on camera because they're meant to be a bit of a secret. So, Direwolf20 signing off. Take it easy.